The suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Stoned Appetite. I'm sorry for yelling. It won't be like that the whole episode, but I wanted to wake you up in the senses. Those that are going to work for the last time of the week, they're looking forward to that lunchtime beer. I'm your host, Kip Wilson, the drunk behind the microphone here on Stoned Appetite. And to my left is the stoned motherfucker who looks like he should wear a helmet when he goes to work every day, my boy CB. How are you?
I'm not going to lie, that dialed in kicked in. And if you can tell, in previous episodes, I've been really engaged. This one,
a little reserved.
Fuck off, Eve. This is why we need video. If somebody could have seen that face, that was hurtful.
I think you should take another dialed in so you calm the fuck down.
God,
I think
you
you
came out
should.
the gate
Yikes.
swinging.
Wow.
It's
I
Thursday,
mean,
man.
Chill out.
Okay, Eve, watch the facial expressions because not only do words hurt, but facial expressions hurt. But anyways, other than that, I am doing fantastic. The weather right now is peaking. We're heading into our brief fall. There's pumpkins out there. I mean, it's all good. And you recently had a...
We'll dive into all of that. But, I mean, before we talk about me, which is what this podcast is all about, let's see how Eve is doing on the ones and twos. Besides the besmirch that you had for CB, how's your day going?
Hold on, let me watch my face. Apparently I gave him a face. The vibe is great. I'm having a good time.
You are.
Chris is upset.
You
and that's
came in
fine.
Guns blazing. I'm all fired up.
No guns are blazing.
I mean, I'm on Team Eve here. I love it.
Eve, your hand was just in a gun phase.
Was it?
You were saying, yes. So guns are blazing. God,
I think you need another dialed in. Can we get him another one?
I'm over it.
Oh,
I'm over it.
Chris is over it.
Oh, this episode is going to be a doozy.
Saucy.
For those that are curious, we are not sick of each other. We just spend a lot of time together because we like one another. We have a lot to unpack. The Halloween draft has gone final. We will discuss the results of that. We're
Chris
going
lost.
to talk about Kip finding the best fucking curry in the goddamn city. We are also going to discuss the weekend of activities. And then before we get out of here, we're going to ask for a couple of viewers, our listeners, recommendations, because by the time this time next week, Chris, I'm going to be tits up to Europe.
Across the pond, as they say.
You say that. I'm not from. I didn't go to school.
You go over to Europe, you're going across the pond, so it plays with every.
We've had this discussion.
So defensive over here. I don't know what he's talking about. I've never heard that expression in my life.
And she's from Maine. She's right next to the pond.
I think you made it up.
God, you're so full of shit, Eve.
I don't know if you know this, Eve, but Chris went to uni over there. So that's what they say over there on that inbred island that is Britain.
So either way, you're headed on a carnival cruise over.
I am. We are going to take the big red ribbon in the sky. I'm scared United's not even going to get me to Europe. I'm very fucked.
That's a valid concern.
Dude, unless you have some pull in the community, if you're just a pleb such as myself catching a seat on 31F or whatever the fuck it is, they don't give a shit if you make it to Amsterdam or not. They're like, oh, you have a cosmic brownie to eat? We don't care. And that's the great part about, we'll talk more about unions in future episodes, but shout out to the Southwest pilots that are picketing downtown, because I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
Yeah,
but,
just get us somewhere on time.
Yeah.
Or at least on the same day.
Yes. And, it's kind of fickle with the time change if I'm going to be there on the same day. But I don't want to miss that big avenue or window of quality snacks, smokes, strippers. I think the red light district. Sorry, Morgan, if you're listening to this. But the red light district has to be witnessed. And so I don't want to miss that in my opportunity.
I mean, you can't not see it. Like it's fairly close to where you'll be going around.
Oh, you know it well, huh, Chris?
Yeah, his mom works there.
Oh, yes. I fucking love Eve.
Dorothy Mantooth is a saint. God damn it.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Dorothy.
This is going to be a doozy of an episode. Eve came out firing and I fucking love it.
I got to give you a tip of the hat on that one. That was well played. Well played.
Bravo. But before we dive into Kip's...
She did. She doesn't. She did.
European adventures. We've got a lot of stuff going stateside, primarily right here in the Front Range of the Rocky Mountain region that we need to break down. Starting with this evening, Chris, we are finishing off the end of Harvest Week. This episode is presented by Riki Seltzers. You've heard us say it a million times. The seltzer brainchild between Tivoli Brewing and Breckenridge Distillery is a 7% alcohol, 1 full fifth in every 12-pack delight. They have tequila combos, vodka combos, and as we get into the crisper weather, they're whipping out the whiskey. That's right, there's something for everyone. The seltzer of the summer has turned the seltzer of all years. We love working with Riki, and we are certain you are going to love drinking it. Whether your football team sucks or your life is just going down the tube, they've got a drink that will make it a little bit better. Find your beach and grab a 12-pack of Riki Seltzers today. If those that don't know, Grow House is the fundraising efforts that they're using, which helps implement, sustainable practices in farming and, I guess, produce.
Serves a food desert.
Yeah, of the restaurant community here in Colorado. And so chefs, as we talked about on Tuesday, come across and do different dishes and do kind of like a potluck, similar to the cannabis dinners we host. They do it without weed. We're going to change that by bringing a fuck ton of weed. But tonight is the last night, and we will be in attendance. It may be sold out, but these chefs are not doing anything they're not doing in their own kitchens. So, Chris, who is doing the dinner for our dinner? Or who are the chefs that are doing the dinner to this evening?
I don't know if there could be a better collective gathering than what we've got in store. We've got Brasserie Brixen.
Shout out to Nick and Harry.
We've got Noisette.
Oh, fuck yeah, the family duo, the couple.
Bistro Vendome.
Oh, that's a gin.
Molotov Kitchen.
Oh, we know them intimately. I'm going to have sex with...
Restaurant Olivier.
Oh, Ty's back again?
And Tavernetta.
I know that gets your dick hard.
Dude, the whole list should get your dick hard. If you pull one out of those, they all
all are great. And so are all 4 days. There's not a day where you miss.
Yeah.
Like your favorite breakfast spot, Bodega. Chef Cliff was over there bringing the hammer for a nighttime sesh, and that was on Monday. Like they do a wonderful thing, a great fundraiser for the community, especially with Grow House and things of that nature. But there's a lot of these chefs that do not miss when they, in the words of Mel Gibson before he was an anti-Semite, aim small, miss small, the Patriot. Eve did not like that. She gave me one of those Chris looks. But at the same time, these guys knock it out of the park, and they hit bullseye 99 out of 100. They're great. So it's going to be a doozy. You may have missed out, but don't worry. You can catch all of it on me bragging through social media. It's going to be pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to brag about this.
Yeah, that is true. So let's talk about things that everybody can enjoy. What is on the docket for the weekend? What are things that folks need to be doing? Let's start with CB. What are you doing? Anything cool?
So Friday night, I'm going to go to 14er Brewing in Rhino. There's a little collaboration between the museum and 14er Brewing. So they developed a beer together called Mammoth Juice, and they're going to have like a little commemorative glass you can get. So I'm going to go support the museum, attend that, have a beer, and then we'll see where the night goes. I'll be in Rhino. So.
Swing through Hop Alley. By the way, that giveaway is going strong. It's a great combination of Starbuds and Hop Alley. So if you're a Rhino faithful, that's what's up. But what does the Mammoth Juice entail? Is it going to taste like oil? Or are we going to look for like a Ricky Seltzer flavor. Like, have you had a
I
sampling?
think it's going to, I have
out?
not had a sampling. I think it's going to be one of those juicy IPAs. Eve's licking her lips over here. Loves juicy IPAs, by the way. Anyways, it's celebrating like some of the big discoveries from past years by the museum, and so it's kind of like a little
ode.
Yeah, little cool event. I don't know.
That is a neat way for y'all to kind of ingratiate yourself with the community that is also coming back, because you'll do a lot of cool events over there. Shout out to the CRA, Drink Red, Wear Red. Great museum to trip mushrooms and walk around. But at the same time, now you're doing beer collabs. I mean, it's almost like an open invite for anybody to rent it out and maybe throw a party there. Eve, what is that all you got on the docket? You don't have anything cool? Fuck
then,
you in Alabama football.
Obviously Saturday, I get the dog's cone removed, so we're really going to celebrate him, get him out in the wild.
Hey.
Yeah, but like Saturday, I think, when I like worked in Lakewood, the cider days is a big event over there, and especially for people who've got like little ones running around. It's a great day to take your kids out to like Belmar Park. They've got like...
That's right next to the Starbucks Wadsworth.
Yeah. So get your little fade and, go ride a train or a hay bale ride, eat. I know they have like a baking fest. They've got apple pies. They've got ciders. Usually they have a little alcohol station where you can go. But yeah, it's a fun event. They do like bobbing for apples, all that kind of.
So you mean like literal cider, not like alcoholic ciders like our friends at Haken or anything like that? You mean like literal non-alcoholic mixer ciders?
Yeah.
Huh.
But they also, I think they have like
people
a little
drink
booze.
Mixers just normal?
I guess so.
Huh.
I like cider though. Like this.
Well, you're from Maine.
Do you like maple syrup?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like they have a whole different like thing up there. Like I didn't even hear about apple cider donuts until I moved out here, which just has a large representation of Midwesterners that do the Michigander stuff. And so that just wasn't for we didn't have that
We
growing
like
up.
glazed donuts.
Yeah, if y'all we like anything that'll give you diabetes or type 2.
If the hot now sign was on, ooh
Krispy
boy.
Kreme. Yeah, Duncan was a bitch in our community. But at the same time, I didn't learn of the apple cider donuts. There's a place up just north of town, Louisville, Lafayette, somewhere up there. They do an impeccable. It's a farm. You can Google it. Type in apple cider donuts, Colorado. It'll pop up. But I didn't realize that there was a whole cider fest of non-alcoholic ciders.
The cider donuts aren't bad.
No. They're fucking great.
They've got like the powdered like sugar and cinnamon and
It's
stuff
not
on
a powdered
them.
sugar. It's a cinnamon.
Yeah, I meant like
it's like a caked donut
Yeah.
that has like a sweetness in its own. It doesn't have anything on the outside.
Eve, you seem to be looking like the fucking expert. So give us what's a cider donut? You were over here shaking your head when we were describing
Chris,
it.
man,
Like,
doesn't
you
have powdered-
pissed her off somehow.
It doesn't have powdered sugar on it. And
Yeah.
Kip told you that.
it. I meant like the powdered cinnamon stuff. I said
Take
cinnamon.
another dialed in, buddy. And dial it down. God damn.
Oh shit, Chris! She's just ripping you a new one. It's like 2-0 Eve this episode. And I'm just the middleman. I never want to be on the end of Eve's wrath. And when it happens, those episodes never go
I
well.
think she's scapegoating like a.
no,
Answer the question. What's
It's a little, usually they're donut holes and they're,
they're
like the-
donut holes.
usually-
They're not even full donuts.
they can be, but
Okay.
I picture more like a donut hole and they're brown and they have like a sugary, usually cinnamon and sugar on the outside and they have the apple taste baked into it. I don't know how they do it and it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, and that's what I meant. I apologize for saying powdered, but I meant the sugary content. You get me. But I think Sunday I'm going to head up the hill and maybe see if I'm able to catch a little bit of the leaf peeping, but just get out there for some fresh air.
I like that. I mean, it's about the end of the leaf peeping season,
Yeah.
which is a great problem to have as somebody that has a great collection of cable knit sweaters. Eve, what are you getting into this weekend?
I'm going to go to Anderson Farms, Terror in the Corn. Woo! I'm going to get scared.
The woo is my favorite part of that. Please elaborate. Is this a haunted house, but for Midwesterners? Is this shout out to our
Well,
Nebraska following?
I don't know. I know you can go through the corn during the day. It's like open all day. And then at night, they have like a horror section. I think it's probably some buildings. I'm not sure. but it's kind of in the corn.
In the maze, like the.
I think it's in the maze, but with like houses in it and
Maze,
stuff.
M-A-Z-E or M-A-I-Z? Shout out to our friends over at the Maze Food Truck.
Yeah, so you can go during the day, and then another ticket, you can go get scared.
So I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna get lost in there. I think they have like safety checkpoints at some of these mazes. I went to one of these a few years ago. You
got
get
lost?
turned around in
Chris
there.
got lost.
Aww.
Get the fuck out of here! Walk into a corn maze and.
Were you with people?
Yeah, I was with one other person.
Aw.
No, it's. I mean, I got
one?
out.
You got event? Yeah.
I got out. Yeah, didn't we lock you in a dumpster?
So anyways, no, I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna
you
get
add
lost.
horror to that situation.
I mean, I did one last year too, and I made it out just fine.
I love that you got lost in a maze. Also, I can't wait to get feedback from you because this is something that I think a lot of folks do in October. Like, yeah, the apple picking and taking pictures on pumpkin farms is whatever. Cliche is bullshit. This is the cool stuff, though. Like, we did the 13th floor, whatever, a time or two.
Gross.
Yeah.
That looks too scary.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that.
Elitch Gardens used to do a haunted festival thing, too, where you buy tickets and you could go through a couple different events on their grounds. So I'm eager to hear about this. And for someone who hates Halloween as much as Eve says I do, as well as someone who doesn't actually hate horror films, I, by God, I'm carrying the weight of the world over here for holidays.
How's that?
I went to Hocus Pocus on Tuesday. I fully support you going to this maze tonight or this weekend. And
I don't need your support, but okay.
I don't want to watch any more scary movies, but I'm going to be forced to. So I'm not a big Halloween guy.
Well, how are you going to be forced to watch? What's happening?
Morgan loves them.
Yeah, and if I want to watch a day full of football, then I have to watch a scary movie sometime when there's no football. It sounds like you got a doozy on your hands, Eve.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Any plans to eat anything new?
No.
My neighbor Felix, you got Redsies?
Maybe a peanut butter jelly. You know, sell for $14.
No, I will see what they're selling at the corn maze. Maybe get some
A Lodi?
apple cider there. Sometimes they have cider stuff there.
Hey, if they have anywhere you go, whomever
They got corn on the cob.
Whomever finds no shit, Chris. You're gonna whomever finds apple cider donuts and brings them to the first person to bring apple cider donuts to a recording that are not from a local grocery store, I'll give you $100.
Well, that's not really fair to Chris because he doesn't know what they look like.
The fuck I don't.
He's going to bring like powdered sugar, like
Those ones from the 7-Eleven
jelly filled
sleeve.
shit. And like, here, I did it.
And Eve will give them the review. You have to bring a card so that we know where it came from. Or a receipt.
I can't wait to reach out to the community. I'm about to find the best fucking cider donuts.
There's one just north of town. Somebody's got to whomever brings them to me gets $100. They cannot be from a grocery store. But now that we've covered that, we've covered Eve's weekend. Let's talk about Kip. This episode is also presented by our friends over at Connect for Health Colorado. I said it wrong, but you're going to hear it a lot over the next couple months. Connect for Health Colorado is the open enrollment exchange program for those that maybe don't have health insurance from their office. Maybe they're a small business owner such as ourselves. Maybe they're a contractor or independent employee. They have something for everyone, and don't forget they can take care of your family as well. Everybody is included, no matter if you are a citizen of the United States, here on a green card, a visa, work in a kitchen, or in the cannabis scene. They've got a platform and a program for you. Go to connectforhealthco.com to talk with a specialist today. Open enrollment starts on November 1st. I had a great curry today, y'all. It's a pumpkin curry from My Thai Cafe, 25th and Federal. No frills. They have a full bar, though, so if you want to catch a fade, they got you. They have like 6 or 7 different curries, but they have a red-ish curry that comes in the form of a pumpkin curry, so like a squash base with like zooks. Oh, Chris. It was thick, so when you put it over rice, it like dressed it rather than like seeping through the grains. It was fucking immaculate.
Portion size?
Portion size, you could share between 2, but you're not going to want to. $15.
Okay.
Comes with rice. You can pick your meat. Realistically, if you just went vegetable, I'd understand completely. The vegetables were cooked beautifully, and it like absorbed that curry when it was hanging out in that broth.
A little bit of crunch.
Yeah, there's still enough to where you can feel it, especially when you go through the rind of both the squash and the cucumber. So there is that texture profile that you're looking for. And then also, if you're looking for a little extra crunch, they have a larb salad, which we've talked about larb salads on this podcast before. Pork is the play because I think pork is the number one protein out of the Southeast Asian communities. But how much fucking mint and like romaine and fucking like chopped, like the heel of it where it's a little brighter yellow, like it was wonderful. And then shallots, red onions, and the spice level of the medium. It's not going to knock your socks off for those that are white as we are. I mean, Maine, Bama, Mississippi, we don't know spice levels like the Thai, so don't go too deep. But medium is a fun dance and doesn't make you like sweat at your brow. So I do believe I can sit there and eat habaneros and have fun and sweat it out. And that's about where this would lie, is like a medium is about like the enjoyable phase, $15. My Thai Cafe, family run spot, got to speak with the mama bear. She learned the recipes from cooking with her grandmother when they were living back in Southeast Asia. It's good. It's real good. The drunken noodles, it felt like it was a cumin heavy, but we're not here to like split hairs.
Yeah.
Get that fucking curry. And the cow soy was a banger too. Yeah. I'd say start with the pumpkin curry and then get whatever you want, because they had a pad thai and I didn't try that. So I don't want to make you go one thing only, but you have to get the pumpkin curry.
If a gun's at your head, would you choose pad thai or drunken noodle?
I feel like drunken noodle, you have a smaller margin of error, but if you do it right, those are better.
Yeah.
That would be my explanation.
I'm more of a drunken noodle guy myself.
Evitha?
Pad Thai.
Yeah, that's why I fucking love you.
Out.
She is the yin to the yang. Speaking of which, I'm going to need a ride home. Someone's had a couple drinks.
Where'd you go before this?
I was fucking entertaining clients, dickhead.
Yeah.
Tough job I have.
Well, calm down there.
Sorry, I got excited.
It's hard sucking dick.
Steve, why... Steve. Eve, why do you bust...
He called you Steve. Oh, that was such a great joke, and it's going to be overshadowed by the fact he doesn't know your fucking name.
No, I was trying to say stop, but I said... And I was going to address you, Eve. Why don't you bust his balls when
I just
you bust
did.
my balls?
And you
didn't hear it.
Steve. You heard sucking dick, and you yelled Steve. That's what you heard, because she literally just burned me, but you overshadowed it with your snafu. This is what happens when you smoke weed with friends. I hope y'all feel like y'all are sitting around a table with a bunch of your fucking idiot friends, because that's what we are here. In addition to the best pumpkin curry I've had to date, I'm going up to Breckenridge tomorrow. I don't know if the weather is going to be apropos for the yellow leaves to still be churning and burning, but if they are, I'll get some very photogenic pics of me flexing in front of them. But I'm also going to chat with Maddie Valter, chef that used to be over at Mercantile under Chef Alex Siddell when they won their James Beard. He now has 2 restaurants up there. Everybody knows Rootstock is like...
Oh, I want to go there.
And he has another one, Radicchio, I believe is what it's called. Similar to that of the purple cabbage or whatever. I may have it mispronounced. And
Radicchio.
I don't know. I'm talking about the actual restaurant. I said Radicchio.
No, you said it kind of weird.
I think you said it okay.
Yeah, it's all right. I see why you eye roll at him.
Thank you.
Oh, God damn it, Chris. Anyways, before you railroad this conversation, Dale. Yeah, bonito fish. It's a trophy fish. But we're going to go sit down and have a supper at his new restaurant. So for those that have the Epic Pass or maybe hunting their winter getaways, we'll have a little synopsis from Autumn and Breck with all of the fresh produce that they have for the autumn harvest. And I'll report back on that on Tuesday, but that's none of your goddamn business until then. And besides that, I don't have anything else.
Who are you going with?
I'm going up with just some friends of ours, off-camera folk, as we like to call them, people that don't necessarily need to be named. It's not a work trip. It's a personal trip that I turned into a work trip. So shout out to our friends at Seed Money Consulting, because our accountants can make any trip a business trip. If that's not a fucking testimony to any small business owner, reach out to our friends over at Seed Money Consulting in Greenwood Village. They're fucking awesome. But that's my weekend. I think that recaps just about everything. I guess all we have to do before we leave is give a recap of what is going on for the community, as well as a quick reminder that Kip won the Halloween draft. Eve, what were those poll results? I know you have them written down.
I don't, but I think you got 38% and I got 37% and Chris got like 2%.
That's not how 100% shakes out, but that is exactly.
He got last, so who cares?
I think he is around 25%. So it went 38, 37, 25. And from the looks of the results of my phone right now, the difference was 28 votes.
Damn it.
But, I mean, the draft that was one of our more contentious ones.
So have we now all won one?
Yeah, you won July. She won the one after. I can't remember who won in September. I can't even remember what it was.
We did a cheese. Who won the cheese draft?
I think we've only
the cheese we'd have to see.
I think we've only done 3.
No, we did cheese, 4th of July, Halloween, and
ice cream or summer treats.
Summer treats.
Summer treats.
That's one you won.
I won that one.
Yeah, so I can't remember who won cheese. So it's
Not
1-1 to 1.
I don't remember cheese.
We've only got like 8 more episodes in this season, and then we can turn off. We have a lot of kick-ass guests joining us next week while I go on vacation, or the week after when we go on vacation. But next week we are back in studio, and we have a guest in studio next week.
First guest in the studio.
Second guest in the studio. It's going to be a doozy.
Chris is having a day.
Before we get out of here,
don't give me that look, Chris. Watch your face.
Let's do a newsletter recap. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in town. We got a tour de Corgi up in Fort Collins, which is fucking awesome. That is going on Saturday at Thayer Civic Center Park starting at 10 a.m. Next up, we have Vail, the Handmade Colorado Expo, showcasing Colorado's best handmade arts, crafts, and goods. Potato Day, talk fucking dirty to me. Let's give a quick power ranking. What's your favorite way to enjoy a potato? Well,
fried.
Great, Chris. Thanks for bringing that to the conversation.
What do you want me to say? You said
shoestring, curly, steak. I mean, if you're going to have it fucking fried, at least be civil and give folks at least the dimensions, dickhead.
Woo. This has gotten heated.
Well,
anyways, I'm going to revert to, you know what? There's nothing better than a big baked spud. And I'm not talking,
It's quite a backtrack.
Yeah. So suck it.
You off of fries.
No, nope. But I'm not talking about the little baby baked potatoes you do at home. I'm talking about the big spuds like McAllister's Deli.
I was thinking exactly that.
And if you haven't had a McAllister's Deli sub with a large
tea?
sweet tea that is damn near a gallon.
God, that's why I love you. You may
Is that
be
out
dumb
here
as
in
a
the
rock,
South?
but I love you.
They do have one out here, don't they?
They had one in Aurora, but I think it closed, and it's now a hot pot right there off
Gross.
Mississippi Avenue on the backside of CC's Pizza.
So this is a chain you're talking about in the South?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a great one. It's like a sandwich, and the special is the spud, though.
All right.
Oh man, it's good. And they do a lot of them in like the barbecue world out here.
Yeah.
Post Oak has a sturdy one. I think GQ does one as well. Not sure how much we love Heidi Ganal, but at the same time we love Jason. So that's kind of a fickle beast, but they have a great spud themselves. But anyways, Potato Day Parade is going down in Carbondale this Saturday. So if you find yourself up there in the Glenwood to Aspen region, maybe you're checking out leaves, maybe you're doing some hiking or making sure your second house wasn't broken into, swing into the Carbondale celebration of potatoes. The Tater Trot Fun Run followed by a Potato Day Parade on Main Street. It'll be followed by booths and family activities in Sopris Park with barbecue and loaded baked potatoes. So whether you're Chris or someone that's in the mountains around Carbondale, there's a spud for you up there. You mentioned cider days from Lakewood, Denver, Rodeo All-Stars is back. I know we're all big Western Stock Show folks, but Denver this Friday and Saturday at the complex, this event hosts 3 tournament-style rodeo performances that showcase the base cowboys and cowgirls in 7 rodeo events.
I might go.
Following Friday's rodeo, guests are invited down to the dirt for the All-Star concert featuring George Burge. Tickets start at $29. You can get them at rodeoallstar.com. Well, if y'all are looking for things to do that are in our pantheon or in our industry, don't forget Standing Akimbo is doing their yard sale for small businesses and individuals on October 29th, as well as the Starbud Small Business Bazaar on November 3rd, that Thursday. Those are 2 things that we will be a part of and attendance of. If y'all are trying to move some products before Christmas, maybe make a little bit of breathing room in the house for new gifts, or you're trying to make a little extra cash to buy gifts for others, this is a great place to exchange valuable vinyls, rigs, pieces, artworks, anything of those nature. That's at the end of this month, so I would be remiss if we didn't give a shout out to those events. Let's just go right to E-Fact of the day.
I don't know. Why don't you just ask me something?
No. I don't want to get yelled at here for not remembering things. I just like to learn a little bit more about you, and I want our community to do the same.
What,
Here's
Chris?
an E-Fact I want to know. Sure. What was your favorite home-cooked meal growing up that was in rotation?
That's a great question, Chris.
That tells a lot about not only home life, but
if she says bread and porridge, we're going to feel like dickheads.
I know. With a little bit of maple syrup.
I would say, well, my mom grew a lot of tomatoes.
Ooh.
So we'd make our own like spaghetti. So anything made with that like homemade spaghetti sauce, like I still think about it. It's delicious.
That's fantastic.
There you go.
We had spaghetti nights growing up, although ours was a little different. It was jarred sauce.
Yeah, that is wonderful. So did y'all have like a big farm, or like was it just like in a backyard?
We had a pretty big garden.
What other vegetables did y'all grow in the garden?
Like squash, cucumbers, onions, garlic, pumpkins.
Oh.
Lettuce, peas.
You're a regular old country bumpkin.
Yeah. Welcome to the crew. I thought this was a great episode of getting to know Eve. I loved when she has the fucking fangs out. That really makes my day.
This was fun.
Yeah, it's time for me to go. I got a jet, but I hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay high, stay happy.
Try apple cider donuts.
Yeah, we took mine. Pumpkin curry. Sounds delicious.
Cheers!
Cheers!